Hello and welcome. I had this downloaded to me as I was drinking my cacao before, so I wanted to share with you. If you, excuse me, if you are someone that is very self-aware and you still struggle because you don't know what to do next, you're very self-aware, you know what's going on, you just don't know how to move forward with this. Maybe you repeat the same cycles. Maybe you're still feeling the same way. You feel stuck. This is what came through for me. So, this is something that I experienced very, very personally and have been able to kind of navigate through that. So, I'm going to share with you what I did and what I continuously do. And hopefully, you learn something from this. But the main message that came through with this as I was drinking my cacao was that the mind cannot take you on this journey. So the mind is the masculine and the heart is the feminine. So if you're repeating these patterns over and over again and you're very self-aware, it's because you know mentally exactly what's going on, but you haven't experienced it and felt it somatically. So the missing thing is embodiment. I like to think of our body as like this vehicle, this vessel. As a human, we have this body, and this body is very intelligent. It's like our unconscious mind. It knows things, it remembers all of our past experiences, our traumas, our pain, everything, to the point where it operates unconsciously without us even being aware. So when you have the mental awareness that you know exactly what's going on, but nothing has been done somatically, meaning you haven't worked with your body, then it's going to keep playing out the same things habitually. Maybe the same emotions, the same fear, the same doubt, the same everything. And I love Dr. Joe Dispenza when he says this because it's like when you wake up, it's like you're already running off a program, like your body's like waiting for you to complain. Like, this is the time that you complain. This is the time you do this is the time you do that. And this really resonated with me because that was like my experience. I was like, oh, you this time you're usually doubting or you're afraid or whatever. Like, what you should be complaining. And when I first started my journey back in 2020, I was so mentally aware. I became very aware mentally. I started working on my mindset and shifting my beliefs and my thoughts and things like that. And it worked really well, but it never stuck. Every time I stopped, I went back to my old self. And it was like this same cycle. It's like, oh, I've got to keep going it again. I keep got to keep up with my mindset, keep working on my mindset, keep all doing all of these things. And then the moment I stopped, I would go back. Why? I didn't realize how much I was avoiding feeling. I was avoiding myself so much by doing the manifestation techniques, by thinking my way out of things mentally, by trying to control my situations and my circumstances. Every night I would go to bed exhausted because I would think so much. I was so overwhelmed. I was like constantly overthinking. I was exhausted. And then the moment I woke up, boom, thinking, 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 thinking. My mind could not shut the fuck up. Couldn't shut the fuck up. And I realized, oh my God, this isn't to do with my mind. This is to do with my body. So I think of the mind as the masculine and the body as the feminine. Most of us are operating in our masculine. We're thinking all the fucking time. Even to the point when our healing journey where we're internalizing, intellectualizing our emotions and our feelings, but we're not feeling them. And that was the key pivotal moment for me, was allowing myself to feel, sitting in the discomfort of my pain, letting myself sit in the fire of what I had spent my whole life running away from. I didn't trust my body. I couldn't trust my body. I couldn't. And I have been through so many ego deaths because I have had to surrender the mind. This part of me, this like old identity, right? That has controlled and, kept me feeling safe and helped me survive growing up. I have had to let go of that identity, that part of me that I had identified with so closely. Like she was a part of me. She was so in there, like meshed, ingrained. I had to let her go because I didn't need her anymore. And with that meant surrendering and letting go of control. And when I first let go of control, do you know, I felt like I was dying. I felt like a part of me was dying or like something bad was going to happen. And that was because, of course, something bad was going to happen. This part of me that had everything under control could no longer control. There was no certainty in that. She lost all control. When you lose all control, you literally think a part of you is going to die because a part of me had fucking died. She had to die. She had to die. So it was challenging. And I remember I had I don't know, like a somatic session a couple months ago. And this required me to, like, I did some breathing to really relax and let go. And then she did a Kundalini thing with my energy points. And I found it so hard to let go of control. Because in those sessions, it's like an energy healing session where you see people, if you've seen it done on someone before, like their body does all these weird things without them like control. I remember my body wanted to, but I was like, no, 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 no. Like I remember like I was preventing myself. I was stopping myself from actually trusting in my body to do what it needed to do, to release what it needed to release. But it was so challenging because I'm like, no, I love control. I love it. And towards the end, I finally allowed myself to release. And at the end, she was like, you finally let go. I was like, yeah, I did. And it was so scary. And that's the point, right? Because like I don't want to be judged. Giving up control is like that fear of like the unknown and what's going to happen. And I built my whole identity, like my whole life around controlling and living in what's the certainty and what's familiar because I'm trying to keep myself safe. And so I realized after being so self-aware and mentally like just being exhausted, I realized that I had to let my mind rest and feel my feelings. And a big part of this journey has made me realize how closed my heart was, how closed off my heart was to receiving, to allowing in. Like I said, this is the feminine. This is the feminine. Like I was so afraid. I was so scared. I was so afraid. I didn't realize how afraid I was because I did not feel safe in my body, which was all the more reason why I had to learn to feel safe. And I had to learn to connect back, build this relationship with my body. Feel, feel my feelings, not internalize them, right? Not intellectualize them, not know that I'm feeling this, but actually feel it, sit in that discomfort. And it's uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable. But that is where the transformation happens. It's the thing we avoid because it's like the control aspect is that we have to give up control of the mind, of the ego. And we have to trust our body. Our body knows how to heal. Our body knows how to heal. We've just got to get our mind out of the way and allow our body to do its thing. And we build up so much resistance, so many walls, so much resistance to feeling the pain, our pain and our emotions, that we've got so many coping mechanisms and so many ways of avoiding our addictions, our TikTok scrolling and over consuming, all of these things to avoid, all of these things to avoid ourselves. So that's your answer. Mm. I am very committed to helping people through this journey that are very self-aware like me. And I think a lot of people may even have OCD. I didn't even realize I have OCD. Self-diagnosed always because doctors don't, I know myself very well. OCD is a disconnection from self, from body. It's our mind having to overcompensate and, like I'll give you an example. So the way I found out that I had OCD was that I would have so many impulsive thoughts. Like this is one that's really common that I don't experience as much now. But I used to, every time I'd get off the bus or a plane or just some public space where I was, I'd get off and I'd have all my bags. If I don't check my surroundings, then I find myself panicking because I'm like, I've left something behind. Oh my God, what if do I have everything? What if I've left something behind? Oh my God, does this mean that something bad's going to happen? Like, I would fucking spiral. I would spiral. I had so many compulsive thoughts, even thoughts about things that weren't even going to happen, but it was just a thought. Like, oh my God, what if I break my leg off doing this thing? And then I'd spiral. Do you know what I mean? So my point is to leave it, I'm going to end it off here. The mind can only take you so far. If you want to actually live a fucking harmonious, more peaceful life where you don't have to think all the fucking time and where you're not in fear, constantly doubting. And I'm not saying these things are no longer going to happen. You're human, you're going to have limitations as long as you're here on earth. And as a human, you will have limitations. That's just part of it. However, it doesn't have to fucking affect your whole life and ruin your life. It doesn't have to be that way. And it requires you to get out of your masculine energy, out of the mind, and sit with the discomfort of your emotions. And by doing this, you're building up safety within your body. I call it you're building a relationship with your body. Your body is like the unconscious mind. It is so fucking intelligent. It will act out as though something bad is going to happen, and yet you could be in your room and nothing bad is happening at all. You could be feeling like you're going through the worst breakup in history, yet you're in your room and you're feeling fine You're in your room and you're fine, but you're feeling like a part of you is dying. That is how the body works. That is how the mind tricks you and will try to control you and keep you feeling very limited and stuck. So hopefully this helps. I hope you learned something. Please comment below if something in particular resonated. I would love to hear your thoughts and your feedback. And if you would like to go deeper with me, where we can actually explore your individual struggles and I can help navigate through supporting you one on one, then you can book in a healing session with me. I am hopefully creating, I will I am creating a healing hub. It's just in the process at the moment because I am dedicated on helping, in particular, women get out of their heads and their minds and tap into the power of their heart, their intuition, their feminine energy, because that is where you are motherfucking powerful. That is where all of your power fucking lies. And you can experience everything in life that you want. You can live a fruitful, more harmonious life, more peaceful life where you don't have to hustle. You don't have to be doing things that you don't want to be doing that don't light you up. You can actually live a heartfelt, heart-led life. And it's done through the feminine way. And I'm living testament of it. I am a living testament. So, yes, I am building a healing hub to help heal the body, connect back to your feminine energy, to your intuition, to your heart, so you can live a life that is more harmonious for you. That is all I have for now. I love you. Thank you for staying till the end, and I will see you next time. Bye.